Stop everything for the next 60 seconds. God is asking for your full attention, not casual, not distracted, not half listening. This is for you. Lean in. You were in a room where pressure was building. Maybe it began as a small cut, words that stung, an unfair accusation, a relationship frayed, a job slight, a late-night text that should never have been sent. The predictable thing was to answer back. The easier thing was to retaliate in kind. The louder thing was to prove a point. Most people do, but you didn't. You paused. You swallowed the sharp reply. You chose mercy when the moment invited you to strike. You chose restraint when everyone expected you to explode. You held back and you held steady. If you can think of that moment now, stop and hold that memory for a breath. Remember the temperature of the room, the words on the edge of your tongue, the temptation to react. Hold it. Here's what really happened in that pause. I have watched, and I will tell you plainly, heaven registered something unusual. Your choice was small in the world's eyes, but large where it matters. It was not weakness. It was not silence born of fear. It was strength under control, a disciplined grace that refused to be dragged into injury. That restraint broke a pattern. Where an expected outburst would have set wheels turning, your refusal created a gap, a pause in heaven that allowed a different current to flow. I do not know, and I will not tell you, every way God moves in the unseen. I won't turn mystery into a how-to, but what I can say is this: patterns can be interrupted. What you did appears to have shifted something. A place that was primed for escalation found no purchase. A chain of retaliation found a missing link. This seems to have given space for protection, for clarity, for something new to form where old things once held sway. You may already be seeing the evidence. Watch for these signs. None of them are guarantees. All of them are possible confirmations. First, attacks that used to land with force are losing traction. Things that would normally escalate simply fizzle or miss their mark. It looks like opposition, but it behaves like it's striking empty air. You might feel surprised at how little force they have now. Second, peace. Not the denial of reality, but a steadiness inside you that did not belong there before. In the same week of turmoil, you now sense a calm that would have been impossible before you chose restraint. That peace is not your doing alone. It feels like a gift that steadies your mind. Third, clarity is sharpening. Decisions that were foggy are suddenly clearer. The next right step is more visible. You notice priorities fall into place and confusion peel away, as if the noise that once distracted you has been turned down. Fourth, draining relationships and wrong connections are loosening. Doors that you attempted to reopen start closing without drama. People who fed your anxiety drift away, and the pressure to re-engage fades. This is not punishment. It is alignment, a pruning that keeps what is life-giving and lets go of what is not. Fifth, an inner sense that something significant is being formed. It may be slow, it may be quiet, but there is a conviction that a new season or a new assignment is gathering, and it feels different from anything you were rushing toward before. You sense preparation, not panic. Listen to these signs as confirmations, not as guaranteed promises. Interpret them gently. Trust what you see and remain wise about the ordinary causes of life's changes. But don't ignore what your spirit recognizes. Now, how do you respond? There are short, clear commands you must hold to now, because what follows depends on your posture. Do not second-guess what you already did. You were not passive, you were resolute. Do not erode that integrity by replaying the moment and imagining imagined better answers. Strength under pressure becomes fragile when we rewrite our past into shame. Do not shrink back. If heaven paused for you, do not step out of that pause with fear. Remain in the posture that created the gap, disciplined, gentle, steady. Keep your eyes on what builds, not on every rumor that tries to pull you into reaction. Do not reopen the doors that have been closed for a reason. Some conversations are done. Some relationships are sealed for now. Resist the impulse to make everything comfortable again at the cost of your soul's peace. Closure can be mercy, both for you and for the other person. Stay anchored. Practically, that means choose a few simple, consistent habits. Protect your time for quiet, prayer, scripture, silence, or whatever connects you most deeply to God, and let others know the boundaries you need. Say no when your spirit warns you. Invest in people who add life. Keep a journal of these small victories so you can look back and see the pattern of God's quiet work. Do not mistake humility for erasure of your value. Choosing mercy does not mean you accept mistreatment. It means you accept God's timing about correction, restoration, and justice. Walk in dignity and set healthy limits. You might feel tempted to downplay this as just being polite or just avoiding conflict. Don't. This was a spiritual act as much as a moral choice. Character is a form of spiritual currency. When you spent yours, when you refused to trade your integrity for a momentary win, heaven took notice. If this word has touched you and you want to mark your heart with the decision you made in that room, make a small, public declaration. Comment 777 below as a personal statement. Not a formula, not a spell, but a banner that says, I chose restraint. I belong to the one who sees. Let that comment be an identity marker, a reminder to yourself and a quiet sign to others that you are holding a new posture. Walk in the peace that follows. Expect mystery, expect growth, expect seasons that make little sense in human terms, but that are making sense in God's. Keep watch, but do not watch with anxiety. Stay faithful in the ordinary things, kindness, boundaries, prayerful discernment, and humility. You were singled out by heaven for a reason. Keep that reason, guard that posture, and allow what God is forming to do its work. I bless you with courage to stay the course, with clarity to see the next steps, and with a deep and lasting peace. Amen.